Good morning from Abertillery Lakes, one of the jewels in Abertillery's crown. And of course Archdeacon Cox visited Abertillery in the 18th century, great traveller that he was, and he reported that Abertillery was surely the loveliest valley in the whole of Wales. Well, we entered Wales in Bloom quite optimistically, hoping to show the judges some of the great places in Abertillery. There were about 12 centres of excellence we chose. What we've done is done quite a lot of work in each area to try to blend these natural gardens in with the wonderful beauty we have in the area. So we set out with a very clear aim in mind. And I'm happy to report today that most of those aims were fulfilled. Things like this don't happen without a lot of planning, and a plan was put into place whereby a committee was formed and we looked at finances, and there wasn't much in the way of a budget to begin with. Fortunately, Abertillery Aspiration, who produce a calendar every year, were able to produce most of the money to start the project off. Then there was collaboration with the town council, and they were extremely helpful. Then a question of individuals who were donating. The Rotary Club of Abertillery and Blaenau was tremendous in what they did. They helped, particularly the Guardian. And we had some donations from some other groups which were concerned with the well-being of people, and of course having nice gardens and a place where people could sit in calm, tranquil situations was going to be a big help. Well, this is the site of the Guardian, the wonderful monument to that terrible disaster which happened 65 years ago. And it seems only a few minutes ago I was walking down here with Sharon from Rotary and talking about the possibilities for Abertillery in Bloom. And in many ways this is just simply a cameo of what's happened to the whole of Abertillery. This beautiful dram now decorated with begonias, and it's been all done by Andrew Sheehy, and the money's been provided by Rotary, and it's been a wonderful project in its own right. From the Guardian we moved on to the Abertillery Community Centre, and what a wonderful project that is, with lots of young people involved, quite a few disadvantaged young people, but some wonderful artwork there, and the gardens were tremendous, and the people there, the councillors and people like Mandy from Taffy, and of course Pat, who runs the whole place, their outcomes were just wonderful. From Abertillery we moved up to Tir which is now called Close Cwtch in Welsh, and Claire Louise, who is running it, has done a fantastic job there in revitalising the place. At the same time we were able to clear the river. The river had been left in a bit of a state for a while, with corrugated iron and plastic in the river and children's toys. We cleared the river, and once again it's back to its very best. That's the Ebbw River. From there we moved up to Six Bells Park, and with the centenary not very long ago, that was already looking quite a splendid place. But then with the added planters and the work done there by people like Chris Hill and Liz Evans, that turned out to be just another jewel in the crown, really. 100 years old, Six Bells Park. From Six Bells Park we took the judge up the cenotaph. I must say I was a little bit apprehensive when we got the cenotaph, because he informed me as far as art was concerned he was a purist. So I was a bit worried about the fact that T2 Sugars done this using cans. Anyway, he turned the corner and he saw the most awesome sight in the sunlight, with all the begonias and of course T2 Sugars' wonderful mural. The judge himself said he'd never seen a war memorial quite like that, and every year he does present at Whitehall, so that was a real feather in the cap. From the cenotaph we quickly hurried along to St Michael's Church. Now I have to say, without St Michael's Church and Rachel and Andrew Nelms, this project would not have been possible. When we arrived there a couple of years ago to have a look at it, the place had not been habited for 20 years, the vicarage. And Rachel and her husband were prepared to take this on as new vicars in the area, and Rachel, as part of the diocese, decided they would live there. So with their help, we set up base. We set about transforming the whole of the church, the front of the church, the Canon's View looking down the river, and the vicarage gardens themselves. And the outcome is just quite awesome. It's the only way I can describe it. And we have to thank Rachel and Andrew more than anybody, because without them and having a base there, we would not have been able to develop this project at all.
Well, it's transformed the place. From barren, just brick and mortar and weeds, to beautiful, colourful flowers. I mean, it literally transformed the space. You know, it's brightened up the place and it's made it feel special and welcoming.
And what have the community thought of it?
Well, I think they've been really impressed. They've literally, I think, it's brightened their smiles, I think. There's a definite different feel when you come and walk around the church and around the area here in the Jubilee Square, and certainly in the Rectory Gardens. It's certainly lifted up hearts and spirits, I think.
And I've noticed there's been some practical advantages as well. For example, the planters outside the church, in the last few years, they haven't been very well looked after. Unfortunately, people have taken plants out and people have put cigarettes out, and but now they're looking quite magnificent.
Well, that's what we want, isn't it? We want people to love where they live, and we want people to kind of just enjoy the community spirit and just enjoy the space.
The great thing for me is not just being the planting, but actually the camaraderie, the friendship, the community which has evolved.
Absolutely, yeah. The volunteers have been amazing. I think, you know, just to see people coming together, being together, socialising together, and just kind of working together. Teamwork is wonderful, isn't it? And we can't do things like this as individuals. We need to do this as a team, and we hope that more people will want to get involved. If we look after our environment, if we enhance our environment, not throw litter here and, you know, just to respect the place, I honestly think that these things have diminished since we've started this project. I've hardly seen any litter, so things are improving, definitely. The judge came, and what a gentleman, and I think in some ways he understood that this was a community event in a way, and the Ladies Orpheus Choir came, and he was singing along beautifully, and I think the thing is, it was a special day for us as a community and as a group of volunteers, and it wasn't just a matter of coming together just to do the judging and things, but it was, he really entered into the spirit of things, didn't he?
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a funny story. We went down to the new mosaic and mural, the underpass down to Glandour Street, and he noted that the acoustics were wonderful and there was an echo in there. And he suddenly burst into song, and he sang, and did those feet in ancient time walk upon Wales's mountains green. He did that in. This is marvellous, wonderful man. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I would like to mention Abertillery Park as well. That was a scene of an earlier project where a group of volunteers paint the terraces and revitalise the fleur-de-lis there on the side of the mountain. And that was done again this year, and along with the Bowls Club at Abertillery, this was another really good example of collaboration between groups of people, the Rugby Club, the Bowls Club, Abertillery Aspiration and Abertillery and Llanelwedd Community Council. The arcade is a Victorian arcade, and once again the Blaenau Gwent Council had managed to repaint it and decorate it and gave permission to put some planters in there, and the shopkeepers and the visitors alike have been really impressed by the transformation there, and it's now a delight to walk down that arcade. There have been lots of spin-off effects. Litter has been reduced by 75%. People are taking more care of everything, and lots of the planters that have been planted around Abertillery in recent years have been left intact. Even the sheep have left them alone this year. In the afternoon we moved on to some other venues. The schools played centrepiece, of course, in all of this, involving young children, was the great thing about it. Six Bells School with the head teacher there, and Lyndon Evans, who is a site manager. He had done a wonderful job with the children there, and they were really excitable, and they were keen to show us their ecology garden. They've got their own ecology club there as well. So that was a great start. And we moved on from there to the secondary school at Alma Street, where Vicky Whitefoot, the acting deputy at the time, had done another great job with the children, and with Joanne Day and some other members of staff. So that was a great thing to do, and it's good to see that there's other areas we can develop in the future, such as the technology area, which will have an ecology garden in the future as well. From the school, it was natural to move on to Abertillery Lakes, and that's where we are at the present time. A glorious summer's day, not a cloud in the sky, and the lakes look just like they did for Archdeacon Cox back in 1799. Well, I believe that Wales in Bloom is transformational. If you get it right, it moves on, it expands, and everybody takes great pride in their area. There's a massive effect on well-being. There have been many, many comments. Facebook is full of comments about how much more cheerful people feel because of the way the town looks. There's been a real appreciation of the fact that lots of people have been working, and there have been lots of telephone calls to say people want to join in next year. There are lots of areas developed, like the area near the new library, Trinity Library. The allotments want to get involved again, and once again it will be, I think, a great year for Abertillery next year. It helps us with the calendar to Abertillery Aspiration, because many of the pictures will be of Wales in Bloom, and as well as that we'll have a competition for the children in the schools. We'll highlight some of the great areas we have. I think it's enhanced the whole town, and it will be a great thing for the future, and we look forward to the outcomes when we go to the judging and the award ceremony at Wrexham in a month's time. I just want to thank the whole of Abertillery for joining in this community venture. At every single centre there was somebody there to help, and somebody suggest where I could find other helpers. It was a huge team effort, and my particular thanks go to the half-dozen volunteers who started all the work at the church and continued throughout the last 3 or 4 months. It was a really great day for Abertillery, and I hope it will continue into the future. The great thing about Wales in Bloom was it was a wonderful experience. It brought the community together, and I would recommend that any town should enter it. It has the ability to transform a whole area, perhaps a whole country. Thank you all.